For generations, gardeners have searched for the same hidden truth buried beneath their feet: what truly makes soil come alive. Not just look fertile on the surface, but actually breathe, move, and function like a living system. The kind of soil that transforms seeds into strong, resilient plants almost effortlessly. Most people assume it comes from expensive fertilizers or complicated treatments, but the real answer has been sitting in kitchens for thousands of years. A simple grain that has fed civilizations may also hold the key to awakening dormant soil in a matter of days. What happens when this everyday ingredient meets the microscopic world beneath your garden beds is nothing short of remarkable, and once you understand it, you will never look at soil the same way again. Right after this introduction, if you are part of the Nature's Flora community, take a moment to like this video, share it with fellow growers, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you never miss more deep dives into nature's hidden systems. Now let's get straight into what actually matters. The living world beneath your feet. Soil is not just dirt, it is a complex living ecosystem filled with bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and countless other microorganisms working together in silence. These microscopic workers break down organic matter, recycle nutrients, and make food available for plant roots. Without them, soil becomes compacted, lifeless, and unable to sustain healthy growth. What most people never realize is that the condition of your soil is directly tied to how active this microbial community is. When they are dormant, plants struggle. When they are active, everything changes. Growth becomes faster, roots expand deeper, and plants develop natural resilience. The secret is not just feeding plants, but feeding the invisible life that feeds the plants. Why does rice become a catalyst for soil activity? Well, rice is one of the most widely consumed grains on Earth, but its role in soil biology goes way beyond just nutrition for humans. It's packed with starch, and starch is actually a direct energy source for microbes. So, when rice is introduced into soil, it basically becomes a fuel system for microbial life. However, not all rice behaves the same once it enters the soil environment. The way it is prepared really determines how quickly microbes can access that energy. This is where the difference between raw and cooked rice becomes, critically important, and the results are far more dramatic than most gardeners expect. Raw rice and the slow rhythm of soil change. Raw rice represents patience in the soil ecosystem. Its structure is dense, dry, and resistant to immediate breakdown. When placed in soil, it does not trigger instant microbial activity. Instead, it gradually absorbs moisture and slowly becomes accessible over time. Fungi and specialized bacteria begin the breakdown process, but it is slow and steady. This creates a long-term food source for microbial communities, supporting them over weeks and even months. In this sense, raw rice functions more like a slow-release energy reserve, quietly sustaining the underground ecosystem without dramatic visible changes. For gardeners focused on long-term soil conditioning, raw rice plays a background role. It does not create quick results, but it helps maintain continuity in microbial life when used correctly and buried safely within compost or deeper soil layers. Cooked rice and the rapid microbial awakening. Once heat transforms its structure, the starch becomes soft, accessible, and immediately usable. The rigid barriers disappear, allowing microbes to feed without delay. When introduced into soil, cooked rice triggers rapid microbial expansion. Bacteria multiply quickly, fungi spread across the surface, and within a short period, the entire area becomes visibly active. This accelerated decomposition is a sign of intense biological energy at work. However, this burst of activity is temporary. Cooked rice is consumed quickly, meaning the surge fades after several days. It acts like a short ignition rather than a continuous fuel source. For gardeners preparing soil before planting or trying to revive inactive compost, this rapid response can be incredibly useful. Between slow and fast action lies a balanced method used in many natural farming systems: fermented rice water. By rinsing rice and allowing the starchy water to ferment naturally, a mild microbial solution develops over several days. So, this liquid becomes rich in beneficial bacteria that can be introduced directly into soil. Unlike buried rice, it spreads evenly through the root zone, delivering microbial life without attracting pests or causing localized decay. And when it's diluted and applied periodically, it supports steady biological activity and strengthens the soil ecosystem over time. Now, how to use these methods in real gardening practice. Understanding these three approaches is only valuable when applied correctly. Cooked rice should be used sparingly and placed just slightly below the soil surface when preparing beds or reviving compost. Raw rice is best reserved for deeper soil layers or compost systems where it can break down slowly without disturbance. And fermented rice water works best as a regular soil drench applied during active growing periods to maintain microbial balance. Each method serves a different role, but together they form a complete system for supporting soil life. One provides speed, one provides endurance, and one provides balance. The real lesson hidden beneath the surface. What truly matters is not the rice itself, but what it reveals about soil biology. Microbes respond instantly to accessible energy. When food is easy to digest, life accelerates. When it is locked away, activity slows. Soil health is ultimately a reflection of this invisible rhythm happening beneath us every day. Once you begin to understand this system, gardening becomes less about forcing growth and more about guiding natural processes already at work. As we wrap up this guide for nature's flora, remember that every healthy garden begins with living soil, and every living soil begins with microbial energy. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Nature's Flora, share it with fellow growers, and stay connected for more deep explorations into the science and history of natural growing systems.